Okay, so what we have here, you'll notice that there are 3 red dots here, and you're going to put your fingers on the keyboard like that, and you're going to use those 3 fingers, typically your thumb and these fingers typically, depending upon the chord. Sometimes you might use these 3, but most of the time those 3. Sometimes it just depends on the spread and what feels comfortable. This, like this is the first inversion, those 3 dots, and that's the second inversion. So you have 3 patterns here is what this is. And you'll notice this says 1 on there. That's got a 1, 3, and a 5. That's the 1, and then the 3rd, which is the harmony, and then the 5th is the harmony above that, and which makes a major chord. Same thing here, you have, it starts with a 3, you'll notice. The 3rd note of the scale, 5th note of the scale, and you pick up the 1 on top instead of at the bottom. It's an inverted chord. This one starts just the opposite. It's completely flipped. It starts with the 5, then the 1, then the 3. And those are the 3 chords that you'll have in any chord positions. You only have 3 chord positions. And you'll notice that this has 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2 black keys. And this pattern repeats throughout the whole keyboard. And that's how we navigate the keyboard. So really you only have to know those 3 patterns. And you can see this 3, 1, 5. You could bring back here to where this 3 is, and be 3, 1, and then the 5 is going to be back here off the page right here in this key that's missing actually. And so this whole pattern picks up again back here in this section, or up there in that section also that's missing. So what you do is, as you're learning this, what you're going to do is you're going to start as far down in the keyboard. I'm going to start here because it's in the shot here, and it starts on the A. I'm going to play this one so you can see it. It starts on the A and looks like that. A little bit hard to see my fingers, but you can see I'm playing that. Now you could start at the very bottom of the keyboard and play that A like that. Whoops, I messed that up. Play that A, then you go to play this A right here like this. See, it sounds very similar, right? And then you're going to play this A. But you can hear those higher notes, okay? And then you're going to pick up the next A. The higher A, right here. Whoops, I'm sorry, right here. And do that same other chord, just like you did there before. Alright, just like this. You pick that one up, and play this note, and then play, you can still see my hand, and then play the next one. Okay? And you're going to go all the way down the keyboard, playing those 3 chords everywhere they come into the pattern that way, until you run out of keyboard. Then you play them backwards. Then you play them forward again. Then you play them backwards. Then you play them forward again. Then you go to the next chord, because your mind needs to remember and forget, and remember and forget. That's how rote memory works. You remember something, you forget it. Next time you remember it a little better, and then you forget it, and then you remember it again. So something has, every time you put new information in your mind, it knocks out old information. But the only way to keep that information in there is to get it knocked out and put it back in, because there's a tracer of what was in your mind, and every time you put something back in, it burns that in place until it's there permanently. So you're going to do that with the first set of chords, all the way up, all the way back, all the way up, all the way back, until you've done that maybe 3 or 4 sets up and back. Okay. Then you go to the next chord, do the same thing. Then you go to the next chord and do the same thing. Then you go back to the first chord, and you're going to have to work on it again. You're not going to be as good at it as you were by the time you did it 4 or 5 times, but you'll be better at it than you were before. Each time you come back to these chords. So you work on these 3 sets of chords, all the way up and all the way back, until you have these pretty good in your mind. And then I'm going to give you another 3 chords that you can work on. So you get A, B, and C. Then I'm going to give you D, E, probably give you D, E, F, and G. All the other 4 chords, because there's only 7 chords total, because there's only 7 musical notes in the scale in the American music. So work on this chord, and don't worry about anything else but just being able to play these chords that I've showed you here. And then I'm going to give you more information after I give you the other chords and you learn those other 4 chords. Okay? Then you'll have the 7 major chords memorized. And from that point, you can do everything else you need to do in music. I'm going to teach you how to do minor chords from those same chords. I'm going to teach you how to do sustained chords from those very same chords. Minor chords, minor seventh chords, major seventh chords, seventh chords. You'll be able to do all those chords from those very same chords. It's just little minor adjustments that make the chord. And the reason that you want to know these three different chord versions is because when you go to another chord, you don't want to have to go from here to way over here. Like for instance, this is an A chord right here. And if you need to play a G chord, you don't want to be having to go way up here to a G chord. Or here's a C, and here's a G chord, and here's a D chord. You don't want to be having to do that. You want to be able to just use your inversion chords, and you can keep everything nice and tight where you're playing, and it sounds smooth that way. That's why you have three different versions of the chord to play. So you can pick which chord you want to play of the three when you're playing your progression. When you're playing your chord progressions in your song. All right, learn those three chords. We'll get back together with the other four chords. Then I'm going to throw you a song and a track for you to work with, like a three-chord progression. Simple major chord, three-chord progression song that you can play along with those chords and use them. And then I'm going to teach you how to do the other things I said about how to get all those other chords out of that. And you practice that. And once you learn that, you'll be way ahead of the guy that's been 2 years doing this, taking lessons reading music. Which reading music is good, but you can learn that at some point too. So anyway, that's what we need to do right now. So get busy doing that, and let's talk again. I'm super excited about what you're doing. You're going to be good at this. Jesus bless you.